Hello and welcome. Look, if you or someone you love has been through a stroke, you already know the recovery process can be, well, incredibly frustrating. And one of the toughest parts, it's often getting that movement back in your hands and feet. So today, we're going to break down exactly why that is, and more importantly, explore what you can do about it. I'm willing to bet this question really hits home for a lot of you. You might be seeing some real progress and bigger movements, like walking, but that delicate control in your fingers and toes, it just feels stuck. It can be so disheartening, and I really want to stress you are absolutely not alone in feeling this way.
There's a reason this feeling is so common. This delay, this slow progress, it isn't random. It's actually a super complex problem that has some very clear medical and practical causes that make getting our hands and feet back online a really unique challenge.
So let's do this. We're going to walk through the 7 main reasons this all takes so long. Everything from how our brains are wired to the day-to-day realities of rehab. Because honestly, understanding why it's so hard is the most powerful first step you can take toward making a better plan. Okay, first up, let's dive into what's actually happening inside the brain and the body. These are the core biological reasons that make hand and foot recovery, well, a marathon and definitely not a sprint. So the first reason really just comes down to simple geography. I mean, think about it. Your hands and your feet are literally the furthest points from your brain. So after a stroke, those nerve signals have the longest possible commute to make. Rebuilding that long-distance communication line is just a slower, more complicated process.
All right, reason number 2 is all about how the brain itself actually heals. See, the damaged nerve cells, they don't just magically repair themselves. Instead, the brain has to get creative. It has to find entirely new routes to send signals around the damaged part. And this amazing ability to rewire itself is called
Neuroplasticity. And yeah, it's a big word, but the idea is pretty incredible. This definition here says it all. It's like the brain is learning a new skill from scratch. Just let that sink in. Your brain is literally relearning how to tell your fingers and toes to move. And just like any complex new skill, that takes a whole lot of time and a whole lot of practice. This is such a great way to picture it. Imagine a major highway was just completely wiped out by an earthquake. You can't just patch it up, right? No way. You have to survey the land and build a completely new road around all the damage. That's exactly what your brain is doing. It's carving out brand new neural highways. It's a slow, massive construction project. Now for the third medical reason, and this one is all about the muscles themselves. You see, our hands and feet aren't powered by big, simple muscles like our legs are. Oh no, they rely on dozens of small, intricate muscles all working together in perfect sync. These delicate little muscles get tired really easily during rehab, which can lead to muscle atrophy, basically weakening, and that just slows the whole process down even more. So, we've covered the biological stuff, but that's only half the story. Now let's shift gears and talk about the practical, real-world challenges that can get in the way during rehab. And trust me, these are just as important. A huge factor, especially in those early stages of recovery, is just simple priority. Rehabilitation, for very good reason, often focuses first on the big movements that are essential for independence, things like sitting up, standing, and of course walking. And while that's absolutely crucial, it does mean that the dedicated time needed for fine motor skills in the hands, well, it often takes a back seat, at least at first. Okay, next up is a really common and frustrating physical symptom called spasticity. This is when muscles get super stiff or tight after the stroke. A classic example you might see is when the fingers just involuntarily clench up into a tight fist. This spasticity is literally working against all your efforts to relearn movement. It creates a constant physical barrier that you have to fight to overcome. And that brings us to our final 2 reasons, which honestly go hand in hand. That brain rewiring we talked about, neuroplasticity, it needs a massive amount of repetition to work. But trying to stay consistent is incredibly tough, especially when you're not even sure what your specific goals should be. I mean, think about it. The time you get with a therapist is precious, but it's also very limited. For the rest of the day, you're often on your own. And it is so hard to stay motivated when you're not sure if you're doing the right exercises or you don't know how to set goals that are actually realistic. All that uncertainty just makes it nearly impossible to build the momentum you need for real progress. Okay, I know that's a lot of challenges, and it can definitely feel overwhelming. But here's the good news. Just understanding these obstacles is the key to getting past them. So let's pivot. Let's move from the why it's so hard to the What can we do now? What are the strategies that actually move the needle? When you really boil it all down, it comes back to 3 fundamental principles. These are the keys that can help you take back some control on your recovery journey. Here they are. First, consistent repetition. We're talking small movements every single day. That's what fuels that vital neuroplasticity. Second, expert guidance. You need a therapist in your corner to help you set clear, personalized goals and adjust them as you go. And third, a support system. Having family and caregivers at home providing that encouragement and motivation, it can make all the difference in the world. As we start to wrap up, I want to leave you with a central message of hope. The road to recovery is slow. Yes, we've established that. But it is not a dead end. Progress is built on small, patient, persistent efforts that add up over time. This quote right here just says it all. Small changes make a big difference. Your journey is long, but you are not powerless. With the right information and a real commitment to practice, you can directly influence the speed and the quality of your own recovery. And really, that's what this has all been about. So much of that frustration comes from not understanding what's going on. But now that you know why progress is slow, you can start to transform that frustration into a focused, patient, and much more effective plan of action. So I'll leave you with this question. It doesn't have to be some huge, dramatic action. Maybe it's just deciding to talk to your therapist about a new goal. Or maybe it's just committing to 5 minutes of hand exercises this afternoon. So think about it. What is the one small, concrete step you can take on your recovery journey today?